Welcome to Time with Death. This video is for informational purposes and in no way meant to glorify or condone violence. In today's video, we'll be discussing the murder of Jose Luis Felix. Felix died on Saturday, May 26, 2018, after being shot in the 11,800 block of Hermosura Street in Norwalk, according to LA County coroner records. Ricardo Estrada was subsequently arrested and charged with the murder. The following is the evidence at trial. On May 25, 2018, at about 7 p.m., MM was driving on 166th Street with his brother JR on their way to their cousin's house. A car approached the driver's side and the people in the car yelled things in English that MM, a Spanish speaker, did not understand. MM saw a weapon. He feared for his life, so he drove past his cousin's house, got onto the freeway, and went to a sheriff's station. MM's cousin, J.A., was waiting for him and JR at his house near Harvard Drive and Guard Avenue. J.A. saw his cousin's car drive past quickly, followed by a Kia Soul. He heard gunshots and saw one shot fired from the Kia. LA County Sheriff's Deputy Cruz responded to the scene. The deputy recovered two .40 caliber bullet casings. A neighbor who lived nearby approached Deputy Cruz and gave him 4 more .40 caliber bullet casings that he collected from the area. The neighbor had gone outside after hearing gunfire. He found the casings about 2 blocks from Harvard Drive and Guard Avenue. Deputy Cruz also discovered what appeared to be a plastic encasement from a car mirror at the scene. Later, it was determined that all 6 bullet casings discovered at the scene were .40 caliber. Deputy Cruz obtained surveillance footage from a house situated on the corner of Harvard Drive and Guard Avenue. The video showed a vehicle chasing MM's car and included the sound of gunshots. MM and JR were unable to identify the shooters, who were wearing hats that covered their faces. At approximately 7:30 p.m. on the same night, LA County Sheriff's Deputy Rosales responded to shots fired on Hermosura Street in Norwalk. When she arrived at the scene, Deputy Rosales encountered victim Jose Felix lying on the sidewalk unconscious. The victim had suffered gunshot wounds to the chest. He was transported to the hospital but died of his injuries. A neighbor reported that she heard 4 gunshots and saw a Kia Soul speeding away. LA County Sheriff's Deputy Potts obtained surveillance camera footage from nearby houses that depicted a greenish-brown Kia Soul traveling on Clarksdale Avenue, perpendicular to Hermosura Street at around 7:30 p.m. The Kia had a distinctive green elephant sticker on the bottom left of the rear window. The last 3 digits on the Kia's license plate were 634. The video depicted a person in the front passenger seat wearing a hat and glasses. Forensic identification specialist Yvette Gonzalez processed the scene of the victim's murder. Gonzalez recovered 2 fired bullets, a bullet fragment, and a cartridge casing. She found a bullet impact on the wall 5 or 6 feet away from where the victim laid on the ground. Firearm expert Tracy Peck examined 2 bullets recovered from the victim's body during autopsy. One of the bullets recovered from the victim's body was consistent with a .40 caliber Smith & Wesson. The second bullet recovered from the victim's body was consistent with a .38 Special or .357 Magnum caliber and was fired from a different gun. Authorities searched defendant's house and recovered an expended .38 caliber cartridge casing inside a backpack in defendant's bedroom. 5 days later, Deputy Potts spotted a green Kia Soul with an elephant sticker on the rear window and a license plate ending in 634. The Kia side mirror was damaged, with portions of the trim missing. Deputies determined that defendant's mother owned the Kia. The car was subsequently impounded, and defendant's cell phone and his high school ID card were discovered inside the center console. Firearms expert Tracy Peck determined that the damage to the Kia's mirror was caused by a bullet impact. She identified a bullet casing she found under the front passenger seat as a .40 caliber Smith & Wesson cartridge case. Expert Robert Christopherly processed the Kia for gunshot residue and discovered 107 characteristic particles present in the vehicle. Peck examined the ballistic evidence from both shootings. She concluded that the same Glock pistol was used to fire the 6 .40 caliber cartridge casings recovered at Harvard Drive and Guard Avenue, the cartridge casing found outside the victim's house, and the .40 caliber cartridge casing recovered from the Kia. LA County Sheriff's Detective Tara Frudakis was assigned to Artesia in Norwalk, where she had contact with Chivas gang members and rival Barrio Norwalk gang members. The 2 gangs were in an active war over territory centering on 166th Street, which is the boundary between their territories. The victim's murder occurred in Barrio Norwalk territory, and the attempted murders of MM and JR occurred within contested territory. Although neither gang controlled the contested territory, both gangs tried to keep the other from gaining a foothold there. Detective Frudakis had not met defendant, but she reviewed photographs of him before the jury and verified that he had several Chivas gang tattoos that only a full-fledged gang member would be permitted to have. She also verified that defendant was throwing Chivas gang signs in other photographs. Following the trial, the jury found defendant Ricardo Estrada guilty of 2 counts of attempted murder, 1 count of shooting at an occupied motor vehicle, and 1 count of first-degree murder. As to the murder count, the jury found true the allegation that defendant personally discharged a firearm, killing the victim. The court sentenced defendant to a term of 85 years to life in state prison. Jose Luis Felix was 32 years old at the time of death.